everyone, I've come on to show you guys some of the baskets that I have been weaving out of junk mail / magazines, newspapers, things like that. I know my videos are all over the place. I'm working on embellishments and I'm working on Franken pockets and all sorts of stuff, but I'm very eclectic and my brain kind of gets bored and I've just got to move on and do a few things and then I go back to other things. So that's just me. So if you follow my channel, be prepared just to be all over the place with bits and pieces. So anyway, I've come on to show you some baskets that I have been doing, and I will walk through the process of making a basic one strand weave basket. They're quite simple to do, they're fun, and that will be one video, and then I will move on to a little bit more. Well, I think they're complicated. Others might think they're easy. Multiple strand weaves. But anyway, so let's get started on what I've done so far. So I'll just move them out of the road. So these are basic one strand weaves. And as you can see, I've got tubes in here. These are newspapers. These are made from newspapers. These are the weaving strands. I've got another basket with the uprights, so because these are a little bit thicker than the weaving strands. Like I said, I'll show you how to do all that later. So there's this basket here. It's just made of magazines, this one, and I think there is some junk mail in here as well. I know there's a newsletter there from school, but yeah, so it's just multiple bits of junk. This is just it's either off a beer carton or a Coca-Cola carton, just cardboard. I'll show you how to do that as well. So that's one of the ones that I've made, plus this one here. This one has magazines. It's a little bit narrow, it goes up a little bit. This one has magazine tubes in it, and these are the weaving tubes, the ones that go across. So there's those. There is this one here. It's a little slightly bit different. It's still a one strand weave, but I've put instead of weaving the tops of this in, if you can see the top here, I'll just try and organize my things. Right, so if you see here, it's these bits that stick up are woven around the top. This one here, they're not. I've just made one go over, one go down. It's still sturdy, it still does the job. I like the look of it. You will end up with two the same, unfortunately, but you can put buttons and decorate down there any way you wish. So that's made the same way. These are this one holds, because there's the poles, I know this one holds the uprights, so these are a little bit thicker than these ones. You probably can't tell on camera, but trust me, they are. But anyway, so I'll just move those ones out of the road. So once we get our basic round one strands done, you can do all different shapes. I've made like I don't know, an oval one here. So there's that, made the same way. It's just a one strand, and I've woven the poles up the top. This one here holds, these are newspapers. These are the white bits, or whitish, there's still little bits on there, but I dye these different colors, and I always put a tag on them so I know these are the poles and these are the bits we weave. So I've separated those, so you can, you know, dye them any color. In another video I'll show you how to do that. There's plenty on YouTube, there's plenty on any video platform that you go to. Just type in basket weaving, and there's some amazing ladies out there who do wonderful things. So anyway, moving on to this one. This one's a little bit more complicated. This is a multiple strand weave. This here you can thread I've just actually given this a coat of hard coat to try and like it's sturdy, but it just protects the paper a little bit, so it's tacky to touch but dry, if that makes sense. So yeah, you can put a ribbon through there with a bow. I think it's quite cute, this little one. These are good to put all your, I don't know, let me just grab some scissors here. Scissors will probably stand up in there, or paint brushes or pens or your cutting tools, whatever you want to use it for. But yeah, so there's a little tiny one, plus I've also done a large one. Now this is the size of one of those cookie tins that you buy your cookies in, that you see in the supermarkets. You know, they're usually around Christmas time. So that's the size of that, and I've used some of the wallpaper that I bought from my op shop haul a week or so ago, and I've put the paper on the top and the bottom. So there's that size there, same process. It's got a coat of tacky on it as well. In this heat though, it's good because they dry reasonably fast. So anyway guys, yes, so these are just a sample of some of the baskets that I have done. I'm in the mood to do some more today, so I will get started on showing you how to organize the base and the poles. So let me just get rid of all my clutter that I've got around me, and we'll start. Okay, now we'll start on making the base of our basket. So I'll make it's just a deli, like it's just a yogurt container that I will be using. So I need 2 of these. This is just a Coca-Cola box. So I need 2 of this. It just gives you a nice thick base. And 1 of this. This is the bit that goes in between your cans. So it's a good way to use up all your junk. So let's go around here. So then what we do is we chop them out. They don't have to be perfect. Although you can make it as perfect as you wish, I guess. But I'm a kind of get in there and just not really care kind of girl. So there's that one. So what I will do is, instead of you watching me cut this out and be bored forever, I'll pause this while I finish cutting these out, and then I'll be back. Right, now that we've cut out our 3 circles, we figure out where we want to put our uprights. Now for a single strand weave, we need an odd number of poles. Okay, so I try and get the center lined up with my board here, and find the center of the circle, and then I just wing it in between. Normally it's about 2, you normally have about 1.5 to 2 centimeters between your your marks, so in between. But for a single strand weave basket, it doesn't have to be that precise around, I don't find anyway. So let's try, and let me just move that to the center again, and we'll go from there. Let's have a look. Yeah, I reckon that looks about right. If not, it doesn't matter. So there's that. Now we've got to figure out how to do an odd number. So if I go 1, 2, I'll get rid of that mark we just made, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I bet I've got 12, don't I? What about we put one there? And I'll move this one down and that one down, and we should have an odd number that looks reasonably spaced. Let's have a count. All right, I'll mark this as my first one. So I've got 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so we have 13 marks on there. So I use this one because this gets sandwiched in between our cardboard, and I'll show you why shortly. So what I'll do is I'll pick one for the base, which I might do that one because it's a little bit flatter. We need to stick this on. Now I don't worry about sanding this because it doesn't really matter at this point, not for what I want to use it for anyway. So I will just put a bit of fabric glue, it dries quick. Any kind of glue will work, probably not so much a glue stick. I think you need something a little bit heavier than a glue stick. You don't want it to fall apart. Alright, so let me put this on. Let me just grab a brayer and I'll just roll over the top of that just to push that down. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so now we have our base prepared. I will get some magazine pages and I will show you how to roll the tubes. Okay, I've just grabbed an old Woman's Day magazine. This is from August 2011, November the 14th. I got these off my mother. She buys this rubbish, I don't. The only good thing I knew a Woman's Day is good for is projects like this. Anyway, so what I've done is I've taken out the staples out of the middle of this, and I'll just grab a couple of pages from the inside. I might need that many. Alright, so I'll get rid of the rest of that over here. Alright, so what I do now is I just cut straight down the middle. Just grab my handy dandy letter opener here. It's my favourite tool of all time. You find the middle. Is that the middle? No, that's the middle. Soon find out. That's the middle. And I just rip. All right. So there is that done. Oh, that looks yummy, doesn't it? Looks really yummy. All right, now you don't really have to worry about tidying up the ends of this. I'll do it just in case there's ones of you out there who find it irritating. So just trim off the little furry bits. I mean, you don't really have to because they get snipped anyway. Okay, now what I do for the poles is I divide this into 3. You need at least 10 centimeters to make your poles, so it doesn't matter whether it's less, just long as, see, there's me 10 centimeters there, look at that. So, and you can go long ways. It depends on how tall you want your poles, but they can be added to. But I'm only going to make a short basket. So this size would be perfect. So we divide that into 3. So how many did we need? I mean, it's under here to flatten out a little bit. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We need 13 uprights. All right. So I'll put this back underneath my mat. So there's 3. Oh, that looks nice too. 3. I don't measure, guys. You know that. try and just, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not precise at all. Okay, so there gives us 6. So what I will do is, now I've cut 6, I'll show you how to roll the poles, and then I will go off camera and do the rest, and then I'll be back. Now I'll just straighten my glue up, it's fallen over there. Have I got enough glue on this stick? Yeah, just. Alright, let's hope this works today. Alright, so we grab our piece and we decide which side we want. Yeah, I think that's pretty. Okay, now where's my skewer gone? I know I had it, here it is. So you just grab, this is just a skewer, as you can tell it's well loved, used and abused. It's no pointy end on it, it's just a bamboo skewer. That's it. I couldn't be able to tell you how wide it is, to be honest. Let me have a look. About 2 millimeters. There you go. Right, so we start on the edge of on a bit of an angle. You just want to, I don't know whether you call it an acute angle. So we just give it a bit of a roll. Try and keep it straight. And then I normally grab the bottom, and because you can tell there's no skewer in there, and I just give it a bit of a tighten up here and a bit of a twist. You don't want it too tight, otherwise your skewer won't come out of the paper. So put a bit of glue on the end there, and we just wrap that. See, look, it's not working, it's dry before it sticks. Look at that. Alright, I'll have to use my tacky glue or something for it. Alright, so now we've got that done, we just pull our skewer out and we have one pole. just quickly do another couple on camera for you, and then I will go and do the rest, and then I will be back. I'll just grab my I think it was Aleen's tacky glue. I got this off eBay. I don't think I've ever seen it in Spotlight here, to be honest. Not that I look for it, but I got it from eBay. Alright, so there's 2. I try and keep like as you wrap, this will be your outside. So if you want interesting patterns on your poles, that's the way to do it. If not, you know. Come on. It's taking a while to come out, guys. Just a little bit on the end there. Maybe if I lay it down. Oh, I think I've tightened that one a bit too tight. Oh, there we go. So there's 3. There we go. See what I mean about the interesting designs on the outside? Look. So there's that. And I'll do this one more, and then I will get all the poles prepared. Well, actually, before I do that, I'll show you how to do the weaving strands, or whatever you want to call them. Might as well do that while I'm here, hey. Alright. So there's our poles done. They're at roughly 10 centimeters wide. Let me put them there. Now for our the weaving strands. So what I do is they're normally roughly around 7.5 centimeters wide. They don't have to be precisely that size. They can be 7, but 7.5 is the going rate. And I just cut this, instead of thirds, I cut it into quarters. Like I said, you can do it long ways as well, just long as they roughly measure. See, this one here, it's 7.25. It's not quite 7.5, but that's okay. It still does the job. So let me not get them mixed up with the others. So I'm not gonna roll that. Let's have a look. So the poles, roughly 10 centimeters, and the weaving strands, as I call them, the bits you weave, are 7.5. So let me just do this. This is exactly the same as I did with the other. You just give it a roll. And wait for the glue to come out of the bottle. It's fairly full. It's just a very thick glue. Yeah. So there's that one. Gee, tighten, too tight, too tight. There we go. What's this one? I suppose it doesn't really matter. There's not much interesting happening on any of them. Okay. Just give it a roll. Sorry guys, there we go. And we just close that up. And pull that off. So there we go. I have 4 poles made and 2 of the weaving strands. Okay guys, so I'll do the rest, and Okay guys, this is how I fold instead of doing threes, I thought I would show you how to do longer weaving, or poles if you wanted longer poles. So you just normally fold how I folded this into fours or threes. You do the same with this roughly. So if you want your poles this long, you would do this in half or in threes. So at the moment I'm still rolling the weaving tubes. So we would do these in threes along the length of the page. So that should give you roughly 7 centimeters. Like I said, they recommend 7.5, but I don't find any problems with 7, to be honest. So let me just quickly roll this. Now with these, you'll probably find that your skewer mightn't be long enough. So if you just roll a little way, hold it and just pull your skewer out a little bit, and then continue rolling, because that way it's easy grip on your skewer, and otherwise it might end up in here and you won't be able to get it out. So I thought I'd roll a couple of longer tubes as well as my little short ones. Oh gee, there we go. So there's one. Let's pull that out a bit. Alright. Oh, another one. That one was a little bit tight to pull out of there. And now this one. So as you can tell, the rolling takes, oh, this one's fine, I've got heaps of room on there for that one. The rolling takes the longest to do. Whoops, don't unravel. Alright. Alright, there we go. Okay, so I've rolled a few, so I've got, as you can see, I've got shorter ones and a couple of tall ones here. I've got my poles ready to go here. I've also got a basket full of poles here that I will be using. So let's get started on that. I'll just move this out of the road so I can roll some more of those later. Okay, I will need probably my fabric glue for this. It dries a little bit quicker and it's stronger. So let me just grab out my base. Okay, now with the tubes I try and get at least 2.5 centimeters. Actually I might do these 3. Yeah, I might do them 3 in. So I just use one of my guides and I go 3 centimeters in, and I start from, see how you've got that little bit in here? Yeah, let me see if I can, there. So I start from here, I count that as there, and I move back. So, and then I just bend where I want it to bend, and that will be the height of our pole. And I use the small bit that I've pulled the skewer out of, because this bit's a little bit wider. So if I need to add height, I can add it into the end of the wider. It's a lot easier than trying to fiddle around with a little bit. So I use a little bit to go inside my base, if I'm making any sense at all. So I need 13 of these. one's a little bit funky. I think I'll leave that one out. Unless I really have to use that one. It didn't quite roll properly. Okay, so what do we got here? 3, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Alright, so let me get rid of them ones. So move them. So I find 3 centimeters in at least holds it a little bit secure, and I'll show you what I mean shortly. All right. Actually, that one was a little bit funky too. Let me move this one out and I'll grab another one. Yeah, that one, hang on. It kind of come undone a little bit. Okay, this one's a bit better. Alright. And last one. Alright. So now what we do is we line up our things onto our marks and we glue them down. So let me get 2 of these glued. So I'll probably do 3. By the time the glue dries a little bit, it'll be perfect to stick. All right. So we line it up with our marks and we get it right on the edge of our cardboard. Oh, let me see if I can. So right on the edge of the cardboard. So there's 1, 2, 3. And then you just continue around. So once I've done this, guys, I'll be back.